as I'm looking around, look at this. 3 out of the 4 chairs are in the recline position.
Well, so the question is by the time we're done with this episode, are the chairs going to be like all the way back and the mics are just kind of like hovering over our face?
Oh, we call that the Big Joe episode. That was the first and only time that I have had this sumbitch at 180-degree plank.
We didn't have to participate much in the second half of that one.
No, we didn't.
Well, welcome to the Whiskey and Wine podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Big Mike.
And welcome to Battle and Bond, match number 2.
Yeah, sorry you guys had to wait a whole nother week to hear the continuation.
We just needed a little bit of pizza and a little bit of water.
Man, I did slam another piece of chicken. That was a good call. I made fun of you when I came up here, but that was a good call, Martin.
Yeah, see? Yeah, fat kid food up here. So we've got pizza, we've got fried chicken, we've got vegetable.
Yep.
And then there's like nuts and M&Ms and candy bars and Reese's peanut butter cups. Yeah, it's fat kid heaven up here.
Man.
And more bottled and bond.
Yeah, not just one bottle.
3 bottles for this episode again. So we're going to start out with a little Dick'll Do Ya.
No wonder you chose.
It's the only joke I've got.
I just realized. I'm like, son of a bitch, we gave him the fucking perfect bottle.
I wanted the dad joke.
That's right. Oh, shit. Hold on. I just said this. What is this again? Payday.
Payday.
This is the Payday round.
Yeah.
Payday division. I'm still here, by the way.
Oh, shit! All right,
Hey.
maybe hold on. Let's back up. Big Mike, hey, and
Please welcome back to the podcast
for his
another
3.5.
Brian.
Fuck.
Hey.
Well, you guys know when we're true to our word, we never retake anything. We've always been
There's
hit
no
record.
editing.
We go until
Break.
our break. Come back, hit record, outro, we're done. So
Yeah.
that's staying in there. I apologize, buddy. I'm over here. It was Martin. He threw me off with a little dickle in you. And then I fucking was like, shit, we forgot the title. Brian's like, you forgot me. And it's fucking downhill at this point.
It's almost like this is a part 2. Yeah, we got it.
Oh, we can do this. Fuck. Well, all right. This is good.
Okay, let me get this out of the way. we can be degenerates after that. All right, so the first one up is George Dickel Tennessee Bottled and Bond Whiskey. Again, 100 proof. This one is aged 13 years.
Okay.
She's an old lady.
That's an old dickle.
Yeah. Old wrinkled Dickel.
Yep.
All right, so little cheers.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, see, we got to do the official
we gotta
shit.
do the official.
All right.
Man.
So again, this stuff's in the little higher price range.
That's right. We forgot to go over that. So not Payday round, right?
Mm-hmm. Not the candy bar.
Yeah, when you're feeling a little extra fancy on that Friday with a few extra bucks, what are these bottles? These are right around the
$50 mark.
50 to 60 range? Or
Yep.
Low, pretty much, I think, right in the 50 range, right?
I think this round is all 50. I'm double checking this Dickel right here. Checking the Dickel.
Hey, careful. Can you blow on those hands first? Those are cold.
Yeah, eyes up here, all right?
$49.95.
Yeah,
Oh,
there we
fuck.
go.
All right.
All right.
So
So
So-
before we were at around the $20 range. Now we're up at the $50 range. So you got a couple more simoleons, and you want to be a little fancier. These are a little fancier, at least in the price range. So let's see. We're gonna rate these 3, pick a winner from these 3, and then we're gonna have the bing bing, like the big title fight. Fine, I'll put it in the actual sound effect.
That's our bell. That's our budget bell. That's all we got.
have it go head to head with the Evan Williams, the champion of the.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you right off the bat, this lingers a little longer than earlier bottles.
Yep.
But I am quite happy. This is just first of 3 bottles this round. So
Yeah.
little NASCAR on TV.
Yep.
Sitting up here with some friends on a Sunday, fucking celebrating the old Bottle and Bond Act.
Yeah.
God bless America.
Oh. Well, so we were just chatting before that. I mean, Mike, you've got a college age and a high schooler.
Yep.
I've got one about to go into college and then a sophomore,
Yep.
and so we're getting to that point where alcohol is starting to be a question, or like somebody wants to know, can we, have a few drinks when our friends come over or something like that. And so and I think it's similar for you, Mike. I mean, Brian, it's a little different for you.
He's getting there.
Yeah, you're not far from this, but I don't think they've asked you yet.
No, if my 3rd grader came up to me and asked me if they can drink at their birthday party,
We want to do 8 shots for our birthday.
I'd have a problem with that. But no, I'm fascinated to kind of hear what I'm staring at down the road.
Well, and I imagine too, knowing you, alcohol at your house probably not the biggest taboo thing around.
No. I mean, they've grown up with it. I mean, I've been in the industry for 20 years now, which sounds insane, but it has sparked some just interesting moments outside of even kids. Like my wife, this is years ago. This is probably 13 years ago. Was sick, right? Had a spell. Actually fainted.
Oh.
And hurt herself in the shower, and actually had EMTs come to get her. It was, I don't know, we weren't sure what was, everything was fine. So,
yeah.
But the point of the story that was funny was as the EMTs are in our house, and there's about 300 bottles in between the garage.
There's a few questions.
And they were like, ma'am, we need to know, are you drunk? And she's like, what do you know?
No.
They're like, ma'am, how much have you had to drink today? She's like, what are you talking about? And eventually they're like, ma'am, there's 80 bottles I can see right around you. We have to know how much you've drank based on, if there's,
well, for us,
poisoning issues.
to take next steps, right?
And she's like, oh, my husband's in liquor sales. Like, these are all sample bottles.
Yeah.
And he kind of looks around and like, oh, all right, I guess I'll buy this. And they've grown up. My daughter's knowing more. Like, I couldn't tell you what a whiskey was when I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
Me neither.
My daughter can. It's a little bit
proud papa moment.
Well, it's a little weird when they'll go to a slumber party or something and they'll be rocking a Luna Azul tequila T-shirt for their pajamas. And I'm like, no, it's not. That was for a bar promo that never happened. Let's bring this back in. So they're not. I think it's not a mystery for them as they're growing up. I think that's a big part.
Huge part, honestly. I feel like
problem drinking with the youth. I think we hide it behind a curtain, and they think
or demonize it too much, or
And if it's in moderation, I mean, like anything else, you're fine. It's just I'm sure you guys had similar experiences, but when I went off to college, it's I saw firsthand the kids that lost their mind because they had freedom, and then they weren't around after a year because they
went so hard.
Yeah. No, I mean, in my household growing up, it was never taboo. My mom was a recovering alcoholic eventually, and so my dad at that point just didn't drink to kind of support her, but they always had booze in the house because they were always hosting parties. So it's not that it was forbidden. They didn't shame anybody for drinking. In fact, they enjoy getting people drunk because it usually made for good stories. I mean, if you're the sober person at the table and you've got somebody who's, done a lot of interesting stuff and you get them a little drunk, you're going to hear some really cool stories and you're going to remember them, not be like, did he see something about midget wrestling? I can't remember. Fuck. Now I got to find out. But it was never taboo. And so we've done the same with our kids where it's like, if they wanted to try whatever wine we were drinking, or if they wanted to try whatever drink we were having, sure, you can try that. And, most of the time it's, oh my God, this is horrible. Why the hell do you do this to yourself? I'm like, well, you guys.
Yeah.
you are the reason. But anyways,
my kids, you ask either one, man, you like IPAs? Oh, it's like gasoline. It's so gross. It's like, all right, well, at least we can check that style of beer off that you are not a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
And now you know, see?
Well, and they think that, all right, fine, I'm going to go have some tequila, and don't quite realize what that actually means.
Yep.
Like this, it's not like tequila will catch on fire.
Whereas an IPA will not.
Well, yeah. So, maybe just understand that, like, having a couple of shots of tequila is significant versus having a couple of beers.
Yeah.
Like, it took them a while to realize that if Dad has a couple of beers at dinner, it's different than if Dad had a couple of bottles of booze.
Very different, right?
Yeah.
So now, I don't know. It's interesting times going through the early stages. I feel like now my book, I've changed chapters. So Madison's coming home.
She's 21.
In days, right? And this is her official. She's now 21 coming home, and I've really only experienced it with Haley.
Yeah.
Right. I see her all the time. She comes over and has dinner with us on Fridays when my daughter's not even here, right? And it's very cute because I've seen how she's been freshly 21 only since October, and how she's very in tune with, like, if we go out and have a drink. Well, I'm driving, right? So I'm only having one drink, and small one. She went to Margarita Factory, right? And they have, I don't know if you've been there, they have fucking margarita glasses the size of your candy bowls, right? And she was conscious enough to know, nope, I just want a small. I'm going to have one small margarita because after I leave here, I have to drive. And I was like, so this is the new chapter, right? My daughter doesn't have a car in Arizona, so she's going to be coming home all week. And she's me. She loves to drive. When she comes home, she puts so many miles on her car. I'm like, where are you going? She's like, I don't know. I'm going to go to Target, and then after that, I might drive to frickin' Banks. I'm just going to drive, right? So it'll be interesting to see how she
deals with
it, because she doesn't have to worry about driving at all in Arizona, right?
Yeah.
Ubers and Lyfts are around. She has friends with cars, and so it'll be interesting this next week when she's home to see. It will be the first time that I think it's going to have to be something that she thinks about. Like, they're going to go out on Saturday night, and I've already kind of offered, like, all right, as long as there's 3 or 4, I'll stay up, I'll stay sober-ish. And then I will, when you guys are done doing whatever you're doing, I can come pick you up, or whoever's left, this and that. But it'll be interesting because I've never had to. My house has always been a strict rule. I don't care if you have a sip of seltzer out of a can that's 4%. You can't drive. So if you want it, you're more than welcome. You're in for the night. We're watching a little family movie or whatever. You want a seltzer, that's fine. But you literally, as soon as that hits your lips,
you cannot drive.
Driving, right? You're 19, you're 20, whatever your age is. Technically, it's on your breath.
0.00.
Yep. So this will be a new chapter now that I'll be going through to see the navigation of being of age and knowing, well, I can drive. It's just what is. It was very interesting listening to JoJo's story in between the episodes when she was doing the drunk, not what do you even call that?
Wet lab. It's called the wet lab.
It's literally called the wet lab. So I don't want to go too much into it because we have to have Michelle and JoJo on to explain and describe their fun time with it. But that's something. What I say after that story, I was like, I feel like everyone should be able to do something like that because everyone has different tolerances. Everyone's different size and everything. Where I could probably do a lot more drinking than half of my friends, right?
Yeah.
And not based on anything else. I'm just a large freaking mass.
Yeah.
So I feel like everyone should somehow experience that, right? I know they make breathalyzers out there. I'm with you. I'd like to get a good one.
Yeah.
Like an actual, not one from a truck stop. No disrespect to truck stops because we love their jewelry and their wallets. But I feel like We might need to throw in on one and get like an actual like
a decent one.
I don't need fucking state police certified one or anything,
Yeah.
but a step up from the one that we've used in the past, where it's like the only way to register. We were literally putting tequila in our mouth, closing our mouth, swallowing,
And
inserting
then
breathalyzer, and then it would register. But without those steps, it was like, no, you're sober. You're good. Get behind the wheel.
Yeah.
Best of luck to you. So yeah, we're gonna look into that.
Yeah. Well, I think after we do the wet lab episode with Joanna and Michelle, I think we
love
need
that
to do
name.
our own wet lab.
All right, I'm down.
Maybe we'll get like a little like go-kart out in the
Oh
cul-de-sac. See if we can make it through a little cone maze.
Dude, I'm liking where this is going. I'll start looking on Facebook Marketplace. We'll just get like a Power Wheel, right?
Oh God.
Something that's just some slick plastic tires.
Oh, no.
Like, oh, you spun out. No, you didn't make the corner.
You flipped it. How'd you flip
How'd
a
you
big
flip?
wheel?
I don't know.
Dude, is it just me or is this Dickel really good?
It is nice.
I know this is number 4 of our episodes here, so it is going down pretty smooth for me.
Yeah. I mean, we're going up the scale a little bit here, so
Yeah.
it should be a little bit better, but it's really actually pretty good.
Now I forgot. Recap real quick.
Mm-hmm.
One of these we've done before. Was it
The Heaven Hill?
Heaven Hill? Okay.
Yeah, Heaven
So
Hill was.
shit,
But
and
that
how did
was
that work out? Is
it
that
was
work-
really really early in the
All right.
in the cast. So.
Remind me. Let's look to see. Do you know? Do you remember what we gave it as far as our grade system that we're not basing on the? Oh, all right.
Yeah, hang on. Let me
No, I'm just.
let me go. I'm gonna
Typing
step
noises.
away. I'm gonna go over to the computer. I'm gonna pull up the one that has all the things that we've done before, and it'll tell me which episode, and then I'll go into the summary of that episode and look up what the grade was. Hang on.
Wait, am I getting shot by guns here?
Might be time for a break here, real quick, Mike. I think we need to play Hunt Mike.
Well, that's going to be really easy because I'll be right here.
We're gonna put a little bit more Dickel in you, buddy.
Oh, fuck off.
Oh, it is good. And I've never tried the second one there, so I'm excited for that.
Sweet. See? All right. Well,
All right,
gentlemen, bottle 1 down.
All right, let's
I
take a
get
little break.
Little
and
break, little rinse. Let's see where we go now.
There's another joke there.
I cheated. I'm already drinking. I saw Alex over there giving me the cue. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta swallow the bourbon. All right, we're back.
Jesus. Like, you got one job. You need to fill like 6 seconds while I sit down and recline the chair.
Feeling good, man. Bottle 5. We got 2 laps to go on NASCAR race.
Bottle 5.
Woo! wee.
Ooh, holy shit.
Yeah.
All right, you introduce what we're bringing in on
All right,
this
well,
one.
so I'm already off the bat. I'm liking the bottle. We're drinking a little Ben Holiday. It is Missouri straight bourbon whiskey, Ball and Bond. 6 years it's been aged. And as this is the first time we've all had it, correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've never had this before.
So I was really kind of looking at the bottle and trying to decipher all the codes on it. It is very informative. You know, not to knock the other 4 bottles in front of this one, but this one does have a ton of information. Right off the bat, we did find it is about $60, right at that $59.99 price point.
Yep.
But it's super cool. It tells you when it was distilled, spring of 2017. Has a bottle date on it. But what really caught my eye is there's a little chart, or at least a grid on the other side, and it tells you DSP M05. So I'm guessing that's some code for the Missouri. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But the one thing, it tells you that this was aged in Rickhouse C. And then it actually goes into a floor system from floor 7 to floor 1. And it was interesting because we were talking a little bit about Rickhouse's off air. So I'm going to pass it over to Alex here shortly. But it's cool because it shows the percentage of alcohol on the floors. So you can actually kind of watch it from this little chart as it was being aged and how they got it to the 100 proof. So far in our little battle here, this is the most expensive bottle.
Yep.
Still under $60. So I just want to emphasize, like, most expensive bottle, we're literally at still a hair under $60. But dude, just the bottle. We had a full 5-minute conversation of literally the sticker that they put on the bottle.
Yeah. Which is fascinating.
Absolutely fascinating. I mean, we got to crack it for the first time. None of, we haven't had this ever before. So this is new to all three of our palates. But it, so far, it stirred up a little conversation about Rickhouses and everything else. So how's the actual juice? I know I sipped it before we even hit record, so...
Do we need a cheers on this one?
Oh shit, yeah, damn it, dude. You guys are, I just trying to, there's that. And once again, hold on, Brian's with us.
Everybody.
Hey.
That's different. But still really good front and back.
Yep. Much, for my palate, much more smooth than the Dickel.
Yeah.
Felt like Dickel had a little more heat. But so far so good. So now I'm passing the mic to you because you have some experience with little.
I watched a YouTube video. This is not like I got a tour and I learned all of this stuff and I went to a class.
I was gonna set it up the other way, so now you blew it. So you were sitting in the recliner watching YouTube videos. See, it doesn't sound as cool, Alex.
Well, so everybody else in my household goes to bed early, and I'm up until 11 or 12 at night. And so I watch a lot of like random YouTube stuff. Like for a while there, I was watching a lot on Pompeii because we'd gotten back from Italy, and I was fascinated on how the like paintings in Pompeii had survived. Well, recently I've started watching stuff on bourbon and scotch and that kind of stuff. So lots of things on Netflix and YouTube that you can watch on various kinds of alcohol. This particular one that I watched was on Rickhouses, and they were at, I believe, at the Elijah Craig Rickhouse, one of their Rickhouses. And the guy that was giving the tour was the master distiller, and so he was talking about how the different floors of a Rickhouse matter. So, especially when you're in Kentucky or somewhere in the Midwest where it's fucking hot and humid all summer long. It's just brutal. You get up to those top floors, like floors 6 and 7, or 8, or however big a Rickhouse is. You get to those top levels, and the angels share, the amount that evaporates out of these barrels, is significantly higher. So the higher you go, the faster the water portion of the barrel evaporates. So you get super fast increase in alcohol percentage. Then you get into the kind of middle floors, and that's where, the oak barrels expand and contract a little bit, but the temperatures are a little bit more moderated. So you get a lot of that movement out of the barrel, so more of the flavors come out of the wood, out of the char, everything else, over a longer period of time. And then when you get down to the lower floors, it is typically, like dirt floor underneath these things. So you've got the groundwater and everything else that's in the dirt. So there's a shit ton of moisture. So you can actually drop the percentage of alcohol in a barrel by leaving it in the lower ones. So depending on how long you're going to age something, if you're, like, I need this motherfucker done in 4 years. You're putting this thing up into the higher levels of the rick house for longer to get that alcohol percentage up faster. If you're thinking, a 5 to 10 year, you're going to find that middle ground. And then if, when you check the barrels, if you're looking at it and you're like, Jesus Christ, we're at 70% already, maybe you drop it down to one of those lower levels to kind of slow that process down or bring that heat down a little bit. So,
and that is absolutely, it wasn't even facing you. So this is 6 years.
Yeah.
It never made it past floor 5.
Yeah.
Rick house. So it was literally, it got up to, when it was on floor 4, it was at 68%. So what, 2/3 of the way to the magic number. Remember, bottle and bond has to be 100 and 100 on the dot. They don't do 103 and they don't do 98, right? It's 100 proof. So it got there on floor 5, and this rick house was 7 floors. So see,
Yeah.
once it got to where it needed to go, there was
They
no
were
point
good.
of moving it up high any higher.
Yeah.
'Cause it was at its sweet spot, and see, there you go.
No, that's really cool, and I like the way, it includes that information as a story.
Dude, I've never seen that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm looking at.
We've got like super impressive
Oh, yeah,
bottles
yeah,
in
I
this
forgot.
studio that don't have that kind of information. Yes, you can look it up on various websites and that kind of stuff, but
Right.
But the fact that it was on the bottle while we were pouring it, and we were sitting here and we had a conversation before we hit record, and now 10 minutes into this off of a cool label that we haven't seen.
I love that. And that's like kind of like half of this whole podcast has been discovering random shit that we would never have bothered to look at before. I mean, you and I, we were like creatures of comfort, right? We would buy the shit that we buy and we
Yep.
would stick there.
Yep.
And now we find new and odd things, and sometimes we overpay for a bottle, and sometimes I think we significantly underpay for a bottle because there's a lot of good flavors and fun stuff, and then you find a fun label like this.
Yeah.
Well, and it's even cool. I apologize if you mentioned this already, but it even has the bottle date of
Yep.
and we're coming up on 1 year, March 8th, 2024.
Yeah.
Super cool that it's got all that info on it, and I like the juice. Like, you can tell, at least for me, there's a little difference in the Dickel, being, a 13-year versus a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a little smoother to me.
Mm-hmm.
This is still delightful. Like,
Yeah.
and again, I wonder if the fact this is higher end, not higher end, but slightly more expensive,
Yeah.
with about half the time. I don't know.
Yeah.
Likewise,
That extra time of letting it, spend those seasons expanding and contracting, does that add to, like, I've always been curious as, like, does the starting juice have as much to do with how long you leave it in a barrel and let that charred oak, kind of mellow things out? And is it this, like, really big, like, graph of flavor, like 23 years old and it's going to be super smooth and perfect? Or are there kind of like these parabolic things where, like, yeah, there's this time frame where it'll be really good, and then after that you lose a lot of the character?
from what I've heard, yes, it's that. Like, I mean, I'm sure wine is very similar. Like, there's a certain time. Obviously, the lengths are different, but depending on if it's an Irish or a Scotch or what you're going for, like, after so long, like, it just kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get much of a difference between a 15 and a 20 or a 17. And I know there have been a couple allocated releases coming out where it was, I think Heaven Hill did it, where they had an 18-year and then a 19-year. And some of the reviews were kind of like just not that different.
Yeah.
And also you got to think of it as just, you know, real estate, right?
Mhm.
Like, a distillery wants to crank and move. They also want to lay it down so there's that right number. But how much space? It is super cool to find things. I mean, you hear of like Beam doing stuff with a 40-year Canadian, or like
Yeah.
finding stuff that's been stashed away at other places.
Yeah.
But, I mean, overall, I just totally personal, but I think it utilizing so much of your floor space or your rick house space just to stash stuff for just maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel
It's
like
hard for the maybe stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you find a rhythm, you find a okay, this comes out great at 6 years. Again,
Yeah.
this could still be bonded at 4.
Yeah.
There's something they like at the 6-year mark. And
Yeah.
again, with it's hard to say after 5 bottles of bonds, the intrinsic, kind of it's right where they want it. Honestly. And it's so cool to like follow along on that chart there.
Well, I'm glad we had such a big age difference between 4 and 5, right?
Yeah, between the Dickel and this Ben Holiday, it's a significant amount of time. I mean, you own a car for an extra 7 years, and that's a significant amount of time. Let alone leaving a barrel to sit there for another 7 years.
And
That's
going
just,
through all 4 seasons and everything that those things do constantly, right?
But then again, these 2 bottles are within $10 of each other.
Yeah, which is wild. It's cool, and it's great to like find the different. Where was the Dickel from again? This is Missouri, and do we?
Ben Holiday's from Missouri, and then
I think Dickel is Kentucky.
Okay.
Was it Kentucky?
I don't know.
Right.
I'll look at the bottle when I can get out of the chair. I'm not getting up right now.
Help!
I'm in a recliner and I can't get up. I'm in a powered recliner and I can't get up.
But that button is so far. Oh, man.
So for me, that's fascinating, and I love. It's kind of nerdy and everything else, but also, shit, I would have never given a damn before. Like it.
No. It's so different from beer, right? Because you don't want to age beer.
No.
You don't want to. I mean, there's certain things if you can keep, tucked in the back of a cellar or something. Few things out there that you can, keep and hold on to. But for the most part, when I'm buying kegs, I'm not like, so what vintage is this keg, right? I'm like, oh, no, yeah, there's a date that says you got to drink this shit by this day.
It's a 2004, and the keg is ballooned and won't sit flat anymore, but go for it.
Yeah, good luck.
All right, not to steal or divert too much, but I do have a question about that, because I did see cleaning out my garage back from my beer days, I found a couple of Abyss from like 2000, and it does say on it, like, age,
enjoy by.
Yeah, or basically like enjoy or let it go. We don't care. Like, what is different about that? Why would that beer? I know it has the wax top. Not to put you on the spot. I'm just curious.
No, so it's funny. So really, the only ones that you want to even possibly store to enjoy later are the darker things, right? The barrel aged stuff, the stouts, the porters. I've known people that will try to do it with like Russian River stuff and like, oh, dude, I have a Pliny from 4 years ago. I'm like, you fucked up. You should have. I mean,
yeah.
Unfortunately, if it's there's a few things that you need to have constant with a lot of this stuff. Hopefully the beer's not in a clear bottle, because clear bottles are enemies of good beer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the next biggest thing, of course, would just be a constant temperature. Like I have a refrigerator in the garage, and there is a few things out there that they're probably funked by now, but if you can keep them pretty freaking constant and out of light and just almost baby them and just leave them alone, they should be good. I know I feel like they just have to put a date on it, but it's usually the higher end stuff anyways, the collector of, like you said, the Abysses and what do I get every year right before Black Friday? It's the Bourbon County. I've been in business for it's going to be 11 years this November, and I'm only allocated, it bounces back and forth between 1 and 2 cases, and there's only 12 bottles of a case. Oh, wow. So it's like they only ship so much of this out, and Goose Island is the brewery that does it, and they're back east. So I don't know how much comes out west anyways.
Right.
But I always feel like, once again, with the whole liquor in Oregon thing, a lot of breweries, since we have so many breweries here, and Oregon is a tougher market for the Midwest and the East Coast breweries to get into, because you look at breweries up and down the West Coast. I mean, San Diego out of control. We always would trade the title with San Diego as most breweries per capita. A lot of people they don't even bother. They're like, fucking Oregon. They have so many breweries. They have so much inventory, and they have their fan favorite things. So for us to from Ohio to ship out some stuff to Oregon, like
It's fucking useless.
it's almost useless. So they'll do just limited cases. That Bourbon County has such a following. I feel like it's that chart, right? Everywhere around gets less and less and less. So by the time it finally makes it out west, like I said, I have a good relationship with this distributor. Been in business this November will be 11 years, and I'm literally only getting 12 to 24 bottles of this when it drops. And it's not cheap. I mean, I think they retail for 18, right around the $18 or $20 mark. But dude, as soon as I put them online, 1 bottle per person, and even at that, when you have 12, and word gets out, it's like it's the only time I kind of understand what the liquor stores go through with their allocations of people lining up. It's like, all right, so I have 8 people outside standing before the door opens, and I know they're all here for at least 1 bottle, so now that leaves me 4 for the rest of the day. Why I went so far on that tangent, I'm not sure. It's probably because we're on bottle 5, but yes. To go back to your original question there, Brian, depending on what it is, if it's a wax-sealed, something in, barrel-aged stout porter, as long as it's nothing light, lager, pilsner, Kolsch, pale, IPA, you can get away with kind of stashing them in the back corner of something and still enjoying it at a later date.
I was just afraid.
But there is what I always do when you want to crack it, just do the test, crack it, and if it instantly kind of does a secondary foaming action and starts going all over, just dump it.
Okay.
But if you crack it and once that oxygen hits it, if it doesn't overflow immediately with foam and other things, then as far as it's not like it hasn't been skunked out. So it might have.
So chip the wax off and then crack it.
Chip the wax off and open it. Put it in a sink and open it. And if it doesn't pretty much over foam and start foaming all over the place, that at least the liquid's good. You don't know what exactly the taste will be, right? But I always will know because I get so many samples sometime that were dropped off, and I don't rotate the samples like I do in the refrigerator because, those are for sale for customers, and I never. So they just get thrown in one of our kegerator doors. And then by the time I get them, they go into my kegerator at home, and then it could still be, 2 or 3 months later. And it's funny, I'll crack one if it starts foaming instantly. I'm sorry, that was my bad. I waited a little too long on that sample.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the general. Once you crack it open, wait for a little holiday or whatever you want to pair it with. But I always open it in the sink, and if it doesn't foam over instantly and start doing some weird things, then at least you got a good shot of it being a salvageable beverage. So.
No, that's good advice.
There's my expertise in the beer world.
No, I appreciate it. And again, it'll give me an excuse to, Brianna asked why are there 3 more beers in the fridge that weren't here before? Like, well,
honey.
Mike taught me a trick.
Yeah.
It's a science experiment, honey.
What drink were you on when you came up with this experiment? 5.
It was right after Mike had Dickel in, and then he was like.
And then we had a brilliant idea.
Old Ben showed up to the party, and fuck.
I like this one a lot.
Oh yeah. I'm a big fan.
A surprising fan on this one. All right, shall we take another little break?
Yep.
Kill the pizza. It's got to be done by now. No survivors.
We're not leaving till the pizza's done.
Who's gonna carry us down the stairs?
I'm gonna slide like a kid does, butt on each step.
I'll get the blankets out.
The Whiskey and Wine podcast is brought to you by Tapforia, Tigard, Oregon's first growler tap house. Founded in 2014, Tapforia has 28 taps, including beer, wine, cider, seltzer, and kombucha. Did you know that they are a bottle shop as well now? Stop in for a pint, glass, growler, or a 4, 6, or 12-pack of the latest and greatest offerings of our local breweries. Located on Highway 99W in Tigard. Visit tapforia.com and follow them on social media to see what they have on tap each day. Tapforia, craft beer and wines.
All right, gentlemen, I'm very proud of us. We are on our 6th and final bottle of the 2-part series, Battle and Bond. We're all still here.
All still upright.
Okay.
Too much pizza.
We might have to rush because I did just break the seal. I was trying to hold out for all 6, but I had to break the seal between number 5 and number 6. But I did pound another piece of pizza, which I'm not proud of, but I'm feeling good. So
You were talking dirty to that pizza before we took a break.
oh,
so
dude, you don't even know. I've been
yeah.
eye fucking that thing for about the last 15 minutes, so didn't stand a chance. So, all right, well, Brian's still here once again.
Yeah, I'm still here.
And he's going to bring us home because he gets to intro the last bottle of the battle here.
Yep. The last entry we got to the competition is Heaven Hill Bottled in Bond. It's a 7-year bourbon from Kentucky. Let's see. It looks like it's a callback tribute. This brand was initially released in 1939, and I know they brought it back 2 or 3 years ago under the same ingredients. It's a 7-year.
Okay.
Kentucky. Kentucky. The craftsmanship poured into this bottle by the same founding family meets exacting standards first set forth. Hey, look at that in the Bottled and Bond Act of 1897.
Oh, hey, May 3rd.
This historic
March
offering.
March 3rd.
It's our 6th sample.
4 scores and 7 years ago.
And Mike's gone.
This historic offering reflects the company founder's firm belief it takes patience and perseverance to make something of great quality. And it's yummy.
I was going to say, so my dumbass made poor Alex do a little research on our break just because I was curious, but
Episode 10.
Yep, episode 10, and we're on, 65 right now?
Yeah, so this was a hot minute ago.
Very long time. So long-time listeners might remember this. I mean, this is early season 1, first double-digit, right?
Yep. Well, and back when we used to actually, plan for episodes.
All right, we don't have to bring up that. We showed Brian. We pulled the curtain back for Brian, and he laughed his ass off. So, I should say Alex planned. I tried. My form is still blank to this day from episode 10 of.
It's still shared with you.
Yep.
You could do your homework late. And
Mike stories to tell, and all I have is a bullet point. But not to skew any judgments, but this is a repeat callback, as was the Evan Williams, and we did rate this a high gold when we did this back in early season 1. So I did take a sip, and I remember why I got a high gold.
It's just so smooth.
It's pretty good juice. So we'll see where it goes for the next few minutes, and then God, we have a big decision to make, boys.
Who are we going to send to the finals?
Well, we have to send a final, and then man, I feel like we need outside counsel to possibly figure out, Payday versus Everyday winner.
Does the council know they're needed?
Not yet.
No, we'll stomp on the floor 3 times. Or we make one loud fall sounding, and then we scream, and then they sometimes comes up to see if we're okay.
No.
Okay, it might take a phone call or a text.
Yeah. No.
All right, well, hold on.
Yep.
I've already cheated and drank. I think we all have, but
Yep.
cheers. Brian, hey, thank you again for coming back to back. Your jacket will be be made.
Thinking about it more, it is my 3rd and 4th appearance.
Yeah,
I mean, it's too.
We'll negotiate that.
Negotiate. It's facts.
It's
It's a separate episode. It'll be on the the iTunes charts or whatever they measure success by these days.
Yeah, we're definitely charting.
Well, remember, I don't want to toot his horn over here, but
Hey, now
our most popular early episode was
Bottled and Bond.
Brian's first
Bondage.
appearance. Yep,
and
on
not
our-
to again, sorry to interrupt, but I put a lot of prep into that episode.
You don't, dude.
And-
Do you? I wish we recorded that episode with the camera.
Yeah.
Because you did. You showed up.
You had
fucking
paperwork.
raring to
so
go.
terrified
You
of
made
sounding
me
like
feel
an
like
idiot.
a piece of shit.
No.
Alex had a few bullet points. Mine was empty. You showed up with a fucking PowerPoint presentation and a laser pointer.
Well, here's what's funny. to this day, so when I'm editing these episodes, I type in kind of the summary of what's going on, so I know when I'm typing up like the description to post this to be published, I have like, what we talked about, what I want to say, what's catchy, et cetera, et cetera. And then I print that out after I'm done, and I use the plastic folder that you brought your bottled and bond information in.
It lives on.
It is still part of the lexicon of whiskey and wine.
Well, no, I'm a dad. I'm trying to be a good dad and trying to show my girls how to be successful. And it's like, I'm going to steal that as like a lot of effort went into it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of people listen to it. So there's a correlation between prepping so you know what you talk about something you might be interested in. And this is why we do homework. This is why we go to practices and work on things. Like,
kids, fill up your bullet points. Don't be like Big Mike.
So does it burst the bubble if I say like the other most popular episode was Jordan and Andy, and they did zero prep work except to get drunk listening to our first episode we recorded?
no, because there's still a teachable moment in there for the kids.
Yeah, all right.
Like,
you can get drunk and fuck around and get lucky, or you can do your homework and just nail it.
well, you got to come with a bunch of stories too. The girls don't have stories yet.
Yeah.
They can revel.
And having 2 guests on a week, now you have 2 different sets of demographics, right? Coworkers, family.
There you go.
They're pitching, right? They were
Yep.
pitching. I know they might not say they were pitching. They were pitching. I know when Braces had their episode, their first and only one together, St. Patty's Day, I had text messages coming through saying everyone at their work was listening to it. It was like, holy shit, Dawn is hammered.
Oh, no.
So,
well, you know what's coming up soon, right?
St. Patty's Day.
Uh-huh.
So that means
Revisit.
Do we ask Dawn and John to come back on?
Do you mean for that to wrap out like that?
Dude, that was actually that was part of my bullet points. Brian, I had it. That was my plan, as you can clearly see.
Dawn and John are coming back on.
Oh my god.
We're 6 samples in.
6 samples. You sure we can't do 10 bottles today?
Oh, yeah, I think I was a little uppity when I said Brian should bring 3 bottles too. I think that would have been a problem.
I feel like, no, that's why I was trying to insinuate, like, I think we're good. I mean, granted, Brian and I right now, we are stuck up here. I know that there's a ride coming in our future at some point, but I feel like 6 was a good number.
I got some bikes you can ride home.
No.
Oh, but are you kidding me? That hill?
It's downhill at least.
Yeah.
No. Big Mike would be going so fast. That gate couldn't open fast
It'd
enough.
be like the Back to the Future wheels.
Yeah, seriously. I'd get 88 miles down that hill in no time.
Where's Mike? Somewhere in 1985. Oh, god damn.
I'd go back to the signing of the bottle and Bonax, eh? Put my John Hancock on that.
And then go hide a barrel somewhere that we can dig up.
There you go.
Yeah, fuck your little 7-year bottles.
Yeah. Here's a bottle from the a barrel from the original bottle and bond year, and bidding starts at 10 million.
Could you imagine? This is good.
This is so good.
This is so good.
Shit. This is
Now it's going to be hard. And I'm not going first. Dibs on.
not it.
Uh-oh.
Well, no, we have to continue. We
No,
did
I'm
the
not.
intro of the
No,
bottles.
sorry.
You
It
have to
sounds like you're going first. I'm going second. Brian's going third.
That's a weird. No, we can't
No,
go left, right
reverse
to the.
it.
No, we're not. Well, if we're reversing it, he started first. No,
Nope.
shit, you started first. You
Yeah.
are going first.
Last.
I don't know where I am.
Need a piece of paper.
I do. I need a liquid IV and a pillow. About 20 minutes, and I should be good to go.
Oh, it'll be instant nap time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no,
This
I already
is-
told you, man. I have to be at the airport. My son's arriving at 11:52 p.m. tonight.
You know that's only 3 hours from now, right?
Shut the fuck up. Don't do that. I know it's still light out.
You still
Hey,
look though.
fuck, it's actually going to be... Oh, it's going to be dark soon.
You guys have been here for a hot minute.
Hey, good Sunday, man. I'm glad we put this on the books to celebrate this historic date that's coming up tomorrow.
Absolutely.
An important act for the whole industry.
No,
You
seriously,
really think about it.
It's still talked about at Tap 4. The whole, before this act of just random shit that was put in barrels with
all the fun stuff.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine this day, right? Drop in. So far, what is this bottle, by the way? Before I start naming a price, do we know?
$49.95.
All right, so far we did six bottles.
See, now damn it. It's either $49 or $44.95.
Well, regardless, so
Careful, please.
the most expensive bottle we've done in this battle is $59.99, right?
Yep.
But could you imagine buying something? Granted, economy of scales would be different back in the day, but could you imagine buying something and not knowing if it had fucking tobacco spit?
Oh yeah, we talked about buyer's remorse earlier.
Can you imagine nowadays, right? Like
Seriously.
now there's multi-layers, right? There's this act, there's FDA, there's many government entities, right, that protects consumers on items across the board. But could you imagine those early days and you know, what would a bottle be? $1?
Yeah.
Right? A buck. And you uncork it and you hope that there's no tobacco spit in this bottle.
There's no plastic like wrap around the top.
Or hoping I'd go to my equivalent of Tap 4 and get my whiskey every week and just hope Mike isn't mad at me. Or
motherfucker's getting turpentine this time.
Yeah, and from that last episode or the original Bottle in the Bond one, my favorite fact that I learned doing that and we talked about was that this was before food.
Yeah.
We cared about the whiskey before your potatoes are okay.
Yeah.
Your meat, you're good to go.
Yeah, I know it's green and gray, but it's fine. But I can actually attest to the whiskey being fine because it still has the little government label over the top of it.
So rad.
We had our shit together in those early days.
Dude. Why did it take so much longer?
Well,
or they started looking around like, hey, what else should we...
Have you met a politician?
No, I guess. It's just, I wanted the progress or the thought process of once the Whiskey Act passed, right?
Yeah.
Once that's good, what was the first thing that they thought of? We're like, hey, we should make sure eggs are really eggs. Or
I don't want to be unoriginal, but should we steal this act and maybe put this with our meats and our eggs and our dairy?
Yeah.
Does anyone else care about the milk?
So the last bottle of milk that I got had crawly things in it. Are those supposed to be in there?
Those aren't milk seeds, are they?
Is your
because
milk
that's what the
chunky?
farmer told me. Have you ever seen the reel where somebody is milking a goat and then the goat takes a dump and the little nuggets drop into the bowl of milk that they're doing and they're like, oh look, boba tea.
Oh no.
Oh. Pops in your mouth.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I appreciate that all of these bottles that we've had today are bonded safe. We know that they're good.
And they're all under $60. They're
Yep.
all easily, readily available.
Yep.
And you could replicate the same experiment with your meathead buddies in your garage on a Sunday.
Uh-huh.
And what blows my mind too,
Just create a microphone out of a red Solo cup and a tennis ball, and you can just tell your spouse that you're recording an episode in response to the Whiskey and Wine podcast.
That's right. I'm a live call-in. I'm a guest this week
And
on the Whiskey
you
and
too
Wine.
can spend 6 hours doing nothing but drinking and expounding on your wisdom.
Well, I think what was so fun on today, not just sitting up here for 4+ hours and eating and drinking, was the fact that all of these bottles are the same proof, right?
Mm-hmm.
All 6. $20 to $60, so not a huge range, especially when you're talking about the bourbon world here, right?
Yeah.
All the same proof, right? The same exact on the dot, yet for at least me, it's been
A lot of range.
the taste, everything on them. It's literally been like a tour of just different complexities, different everything, which is very, very, very cool to experience with a fairly small sample bottle, right?
I mean,
6
how
lousy
often...
bottles of bourbon from a shelf, right, that you can literally taste and experience so much difference between them.
Yeah.
Is super cool.
There's not a lot of things in this world where you can have like one bar be the exact same across, and then you're just judging the different tastes or the flavors or whatever as far as this goes.
No,
So,
there's really you can't. There's no I can't think of anything else. I mean, wines are fairly
they're all over the board.
they're all over the board. Alcohol wise, a lot of them are in that 12.5 to 13.5%.
Yeah.
So I guess would be the most similar thing to what we're doing. But beers, like we could have tried 6 IPAs and they could have ranged from about 5.8 to 8.4, and just there's 1,000 hops nowadays, right?
Yeah.
You have your hardcore 20 or so, and then you have all these new experimental ones that they're making in labs and cryo freezing and this and that and using pellets instead of fresh flowers. And you couldn't find 6 IPAs that had a small parameter like we had here. It would be impossible.
Yeah.
So the fact that we pulled 6 random bottles with a fairly small price range,
Yep.
and to taste completely different juice
Super fun.
in all of them. Super fun.
Super fun.
So great little Sunday here. Great little Sunday.
Oh, well, are we close to crowning a king of the
We got to do
paydays?
so we got to do a champion of this round, and then we were talking off air. Are we going to do
We're gonna try and make a champion of both rounds.
should we try to make one of our own and then have outside counsel come in?
I think we can figure out where we would be and then have her come in
Okay.
and see where we're at.
All
I
right.
think live on air reaction to her judgment
Would be really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it sounds like I drew the short straw somehow
Yeah.
for this payday round. So you want me to kick it off?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So I am going to go with a little drum roll. I'm going to go complete 180 from last one. We started first to last being the best. For me, for round 2, for the payday round, I think I'm going to have this final bottle that I'm holding up. I think we got Heaven Hill for Big Mike as the number 1. It was pretty close. Ben Holiday, man, I really, really enjoyed that bottle. That stirred up a whole conversation for that round of how much information they had on that bottle. I really enjoyed it. It was pretty close.
Yeah.
But I think for me, Big Mike's going to flip it up. We're going to go we're going number 1 right here, Heaven Hill.
Okay.
We're going Ben Holiday 2,
Okay.
and we're going to go Dickel. I had a little Dickel in me at first, but they're going to go 3rd.
All right.
So the champion for Big Mike, we're going to see. Hopefully we don't have a tie here, but Big Mike's going to call out the championship for payday round for himself and himself only as the old Heaven Hill.
All right. All right.
Now you guys have to do paper, rock, scissors.
No, I think I'm next. I think we
All
got to
right.
make Brian go last.
All right.
So he just sounds reductive. All right, so I'm gonna go a little different. So my 3rd place finisher is gonna be the Ben Holiday, despite the fact that I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
I thought it was really impressive for a 6-year.
Youngest one out of the group, right?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
6, 7, and was it 13?
Yeah.
Dickel?
Yep.
Okay.
I was really impressed with that, and I thought, like, I'll totally buy that. I see it all the time in the liquor store, and I mean, shit, we broke the seal here, so I've never tried it before, just out of, like, it's always on kind of a lower shelf at a liquor store, so I'm never really, like, drawn to it. When that bottle's empty, I'll be buying another one.
That should have a standalone episode. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't even know who makes it, or we know where it comes from. But
Yeah, but
Missouri.
I'd
Sorry.
never had it before. Solid, really solid. Like if you're in a liquor store and you've got all of these bottles available, or you only see the Doc, pick up the fucking Doc Holiday. It's still just the 3rd place for me, but it's still great.
All right. I like it.
2nd place for me is going to be the George Dickel.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I really thought that those extra years kind of put like a soft complexity to it. Like it's not really in your face flavor and everything else. Doc Holiday has a lot of great flavor, but it's really in your face. I thought the Dickel really kind of had a surprising amount of complexity in it, and it was lovely. But like you, the Heaven Hill is just fucking it's fantastic. And we're still at a reasonable price at 100 proof. This thing does all the things that you would want it to do. For none of us have a rock, solid all the way around.
That's right. I'm glad you stated that.
None of us have a rock.
No rocks all day, no water, no nothing. So we have
it's just the juice.
Merit,
yeah. So for me, the Heaven Hill is top of the cock for the Payday bottled in bonds.
All right. Well, shit, we have a champion, but Brian, let's bring it home. What's your thoughts and
it's already.
here?
Heaven Hill's already clinched the win, so I feel like I don't even need to disclose my ballot. But I'm gonna agree. I'm blown away by the Ben, the label, the taste, everything was fantastic. I know nothing about it. Like I need to jump into it. I know my group. I don't sell it, so I got to learn like what I'm competing against. That was phenomenal. But I am gonna put it at third just because So I basically am copying yours. The Dickel was really good. That's the closest. On my first appearance, that was the closest I did to a Big Mike. If you remember, that sample bottle I brought was pretty light because I tried it, and then I was like, I'll try a couple more. And I think I picked that bottle up on Monday and showed up here Sunday. So I had 6 days of like, I'm just going to have one more.
Yeah.
And so that one was a little light when I brought it here again. I apologize. But
trust me, he won't give you any shit. Just me on the Angel's Envy.
And the Heaven Hill 7-year is just spectacular. Like it's the champion for that price point. I'm gonna agree. So I'm gonna go,
dude. Our second unanimous champion.
So it almost either we have incredibly similar palates, or
I think these legitimately. I mean, everything we've had today has had a different palate to it. Absolutely, but generally, I mean, all three of us drink bourbon on the regular. Like we have it. So there are things that you learn that are palatable and other things that are less palatable. And so I think we're all finding similar things are nice. And this Heaven Hill, I think, really kind of hits all those parts, like the warm front and back, good flavor throughout. In all honesty, for me, that Dickel is really close.
Yeah, it is. And again, we're being a little redundant. I guess that happens when you have 6 samples of 100 proof. But it's super rad to play within these set pieces. All 6 of these are great from both categories. The 3 we did last week, well, earlier today. Sorry. Damn it. Every one of these, I'd be delighted if someone came over to my house, was like, "Hey, I brought this." Like, sweet.
Yeah.
There's not a loser in here, so to the third placers, I'm sorry. Keep your head up.
And like, dude, my mind is still blown that we're literally talking about $18 or $19 to $59.
Right. So now I'm giddy. Like, do we take a break and then just reintroduce? Like, have a special guest taste the two. Like, just which one do you like better? And then we see. Is there an upset of the century here?
Yeah.
Or does, the power school just still roll on and keep the belt?
I don't know. We're going to find out. But what I appreciate about this, so oftentimes recently people have been asking since, like, we're the Whiskey and Wine podcast. Like, what would you recommend? Any of these? You find any of these, if you're looking for something in the $20 to $60 range that is readily available, all of these are readily available. All of these are reasonably priced, and they all have a different flavor. So buy all 6, find out what you like, and then you will always have something that is just there.
Yep. No, that's a great call.
So, I mean, fuck, you're out a lot less than if you go online and you buy that, Blanton's Gold on secondary market at $3.99. You're still out less, and you've got 6 bottles.
Right.
That's right. Nope, it's a great way to get in there and find your own taste, right? And see what you enjoy, because everyone's
Everybody's fucking different.
Everyone's super different. I mean, it's so super different. You know what I'm eyeing right now? I feel like we should end this while we get our special referee in here to do the last one. I say we do some Malort.
Fuck off.
It was going so good.
Did I fuck it up?
Yeah. Why you gotta take a shit in the chair, man? Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do that?
Sorry, the bottle was staring at me right there by
no,
Buffalo
no,
Trace.
it's not
It
wink,
was like,
it's not winking at you.
What about Malort?
No.
No, all right.
All right, no. All right, so let's take a quick little break. I'm going to go see if I can negotiate with our special guest.
You do that. We're going to work on an alternative
Solution.
Yeah, we're going to have to figure out something because we have to crown. We can't end with having 2 champions. We need, an overall Grand Poobah.
If we can't get the blind taste test, I think we do Mellow Corn versus Heaven Hill versus Evan Williams.
Or just a non-contender comes in and wins the whole thing.
and fuck up our whole day's work.
And we're idiots.
Hurry up. Brian wanted you to hit play like 30 seconds ago.
Just missed it.
Dang it. Oh, sorry, Brian.
You should always be recording when you're not.
Nope. Sorry, Brian. I don't know what you heard, but I didn't hear anything.
I didn't hear anything either. No,
Yeah.
sorry.
Here's what I said. Alex and Mike are idiots. I don't know Brian well enough to call him an idiot
To make
yet.
that call yet.
So
There's plenty of
too
evidence
early
out there.
to.
And Brian also simplified it for me in 5 seconds.
Okay, welcome back to the podcast, Joanna.
Oh yeah, Joe and hold on, Brian's still here too.
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
So we needed a unbiased, unliquored
Clean
opinion
palate.
on who the champion between the Everyday and the Payday bottled in bonds was going to be. So we gently asked Joanna, and she courteously agreed.
Thank you, JoJo.
Thank you.
I
To
do
do
love
that. But then she came up here and promptly roasted the fuck out of us.
Anybody would have done the same.
Katie just didn't do it because she wasn't here.
Exactly.
Crime of opportunity.
Yeah. So I believe she said that Brian is the calming influence. So
He simplified it for me. You guys brought me up here, like, tried to butter me up, and he's like, really? Your palate is just clean. Oh, that makes sense. Got it. Thanks.
right.
That's
so,
all you had to say.
So
Quit beating around the bush there, Martson.
So yeah, so to keep it simple, to your left
Okay.
are our 2 champions.
Yep.
All we need you to do, we should get her a water too.
Nope.
no,
Oh,
she's got water.
No, other one first.
Other one first,
So
Yep.
taste it.
just so we remember, because you
Yep.
don't know, but I know.
The smell is great.
Good.
Okay.
Smell.
So everything about these you can taste while I talk.
Yeah, just a
It's
little
very
sip.
fruity.
Okay.
Okay.
Smells fruity, I mean.
Okay.
Haven't tasted it yet.
So everything here is the same proof. They're all 100 proof because they're all bottled in bond. Some of them are under $20. Some of them are $60.
Ooh, I like this. This is very smooth. Very smooth.
Okay.
Burns a little bit going down.
Yep.
Right about there.
Hot
Okay.
going down.
It's hot
Kentucky
going
hug.
down.
Yeah. Brian has taught us this episode that is referred to as the Kentucky hug.
Okay. I like it. It's good. Can I have some more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, burned my eyes a little bit.
Yeah.
It's getting a little hotter.
I love how I'm drinking like I'm fucking.
Well, it's like watching a game.
Yeah,
and NASCAR's off. So
every
it's like,
time
ooh,
JoJo drinks, I'm drinking. Son of a bitch.
I'm in for this.
Well, I'm glad you like it. So that was the champion in round one. So these.
So can I give? Hold on.
Oh.
Did you? The more I drank it, Brian, the hotter it got.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be another Big Joe episode.
Did you just call me Big Joe?
No, I did not call you Big Joe.
Did you just refer to me as Big Joe?
No, I said Big Joe episode. She's not looking at me.
I don't know what they mean.
I'm sorry, Jojo. What was your question?
It's good, Brian, but the more I drink it, the hotter it gets.
Okay.
But it's good.
Okay.
I like
All right.
it.
Fair.
All right.
Do you want me to finish it?
Nope,
no, absolutely not.
No.
I mean, you're more than welcome to.
I-
but-
Yeah.
No, I like it, but
All right.
No.
I also have to get up at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
All right.
No, we just poured you enough so that the nose is in the glass and you can smell it and taste it.
What are you guys watching?
Wakanda.
Well, yeah.
You drink whiskey?
It was NASCAR, and then I lost track about 20
I do
minutes.
drink whiskey.
No, that's what I'm watching. There could be nothing on the TV. I'm
Okay.
just fascinated by this experiment.
Yeah. No, so I mean, like,
This is a little bit more caramely, more sugary.
Okay.
okay.
So the first one more fruity.
I'm talking the smell of it.
A little
Gotcha.
nose on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we went from fruity to more caramelly.
Okay. That's fair.
So champion of round 2.
This is good, but they're both good.
And
They're both
hence our
really
problem.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence
is-
why
yeah.
we brought you up here.
I tend to go towards the caramely ones, so
That's the winner.
Oh shit!
This
Is
is
that
the
the winner?
winner. Mhm.
Is
All
that
right.
we have a
We have a
grand
grand
poobah?
champion.
Wow.
is this caramel, Brian?
There are caramel notes in it. You did
Yes.
nail that, but it
Is
is
there
a bottled and bond.
Is there fruit notes in this one?
It's a little bit younger, so that typically is more present, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
When it's not aged in the barrel as long. That one is a 7-year. The other one is younger. I believe it's 4.
I like him aged and mature.
Yeah. Yes, she does.
Okay, I'm not talking about you.
Hold on. Yes, she does.
I'm not talking about you.
Brian's like, and
I'm not. I'm just Brian.
And I'm here.
It's definitely. Can I try the other one?
Yeah, no,
absolutely.
Take a little water in between. Just
Because this is fascinating. This is down to the wire.
Yeah. And we have to tell you that like the first set of winners was an easy pick for us. The second one was a harder pick for us. So.
Well, but these two are just very different. I don't know how you could declare a winner because they're so different.
Oh, I mean, you have a valid point.
Well, they all play in the bottled and bond category. That's how they're
Yeah.
all the same.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the fun of tasting all these different ones that are playing by the same set of rules, yet they're so vastly different. Like,
all 6 bottles that we tried. It was awesome. We were talking about how price point was fairly small at what $40 gap between
Yeah.
the most expensive and the cheapest.
Yep.
But as far as the juice itself following by the same set of rules of 100 proof and everything, so different on the board.
You should have McKenna come try.
No. No. I cannot put out on the air that I gave my underage child whiskey.
Okay, now I chase caramel in that one,
Oh,
but it's this one.
number 2.
Number
number
two.
2's the winner.
All right.
All right.
Thank you so much. Do you want to tell her who
Yeah.
Before you guys go there, I have an idea.
Oh.
Brian, I have a lot of me and Leanne. I have some girlfriends that like whiskey, but these guys have a lot of friends that like whiskey. I think you should do a whiskey tasting here. Like as a fundraiser or something.
edit that out? The Brian Foundation?
All right, 113.
Yeah, I got you.
Give me one beep. I don't know my name.
It's the second one, though. I mean, the
Okay.
first one was really good, but if you made me choose, it's the second.
All right. Well,
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So
This is really...
So the second one is the Heaven and Hill, bottled and bond. It was on episode 10, one of our really, really early episodes.
Where Brian came on.
No, before Brian was even in the mix.
Yep.
So
Alex and I, we gave it a high gold
Yep.
the first time around on episode 10.
in fact, it was so early that we were still doing like pre-show notes.
Here we go. Fucking
Well, some of us were doing pre-show notes. Some of us participated. Anyways, so it's been a hot minute since we had it, so it's kind of fun to bring it back. And it won the Payday version, so the higher priced one. So that's like,
Well, I do have an expensive taste.
yeah,
There we go.
Yeah, so it's the in between like $40 and $60
That's
version.
Category.
decent. That's a good
No,
price
that bottle
for
you
whiskey.
picked was $49.95.
Yeah.
So really reasonably priced. You can find it in a lot of places.
Oh,
It's really available.
But the cool thing is the bottle it went up against is $19.95.
Yeah, so the first one you
Oh.
drank was only $19.95.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the year 1995.
No,
It
the
cost
cost.
$19.95.
Yeah.
That was good for
No, that-
$19.95.
$20.
And it was another, I forgot what episode, but the Evan Williams, when we did that as a standalone, they both received high golds.
Yeah.
And literally, it's funny, right? $20 to $60, both great, both delicious.
Different things that are great about each, but like that's why this is fun. Like, so you've got anywhere from $16.95 up to $59.99, and they're all built exactly the same. Like, the rules are very strict on bottled and bond, so you have to do it the
You
same.
can tell me about that later.
It's all very
Oh, yeah, you
even
can,
playing
big
field,
gay.
but the way they do that can be significantly different. So we had 6 bottles, we had 6 different experiences, and then we had a clean palate come in, and you
I like expensive, mature, and aged.
again, I
How
feel
does
like
she
you're-
like
I
you,
f- I
Alex?
feel like that's a new shirt for me. Like, hi, my name is expensive, mature, and aged.
I'd like a little bit of Octomore now.
All right. Well, after the episode, I'll pour you a little bit of Octomore if you really want.
Do you want some Malort?
What?
Nope.
Malort?
The answer is no.
What's that?
Oh, you
trust
haven't
me.
had it?
No, trust me. The answer is no.
Now it's here we hit the fade out music.
Yeah.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Just hit the button.
Yeah.
I like Brian. He's a breath of fresh air compared to you two idiots. Where's my sidekick, Katie?
She left me for dead up here.
She did.
The only reason she didn't make me tuck and roll is because Brian was with me and she really likes him.
Oh! Even more reason to like Brian. Katie likes him a lot. Shout out Katie.
That's why I was like, hey,
Greatest
Brian,
episode of all
we
time.
have to pick you up because if you're not in the car with me, I got to jump out.
Katie dropped you off?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she's like, good luck, y'all. I'll see you later tonight.
That's what I love about her.
Oh, well, that was
Holy
one
shit.
hell of an episode. That was
That was
our first
fantastic.
battle. We're going to have to
Let's battle again.
That's I was just going to say, if anyone we have to think of some new categories to battle, I guess.
Shoot, you
right?
could do a lot. Like, you could do women's names versus men's names. You could do, I don't know. Gosh,
I was going
animals on the label.
Okay.
It's
Okay. Okay, so we're not picking Final Four teams in March Madness.
But you could do a lot of fun with this.
I was thinking more off like years aged and price point.
Oh yeah, you could do that too.
I like
We're not
boys versus girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put my dickle up against your.
Big Nose Kate.
Yeah. Jekyll versus Kate.
Oh, fuck.
Is there a what was that artist, Georgia whatever, that made all the flowers that were very not flower like?
Oh,
O'Keefe.
yes.
Georgia O'Keefe. So we could do Georgia O'Keefe stuff versus Dickel.
Or you could just have JoJo randomly pick some.
Oh,
I don't even
shit.
know what I'm looking at.
No.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
No,
Hey, finish one of those glasses. I'm gonna put a little Malort in there for you for the next one.
Okay.
I'll do
sign
one
off.
with you.
Are we done?
Well, all right. So, again,
That was a little bit of Don Brace that just showed up.
Yeah.
It's time to fucking go.
I want to go. Are we going to Clancy's?
Push the button.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to another episode of the Whiskey and Wine Podcast. Congratulations to Heaven and Hill.
That's right.
Or Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond being our Battle in Bond
Grand
champion.
Nice job.
Yeah. But, again, you see any of these bottles in the store, just pick it up.
Yep.
Even if you hate it, you're out at most $60. and at worst $16.95. So make sure to follow us on Instagram. Brian, thank you so much for being on again.
Thanks for
Thank
inviting
you,
me. This
buddy.
was really cool.
We'll have your jacket ready next time.
And
Yeah.
I met a new friend. So this is fantastic.
They can't sit together anymore. we gotta put a little space in between.
Make sure to follow us on Instagram. Check out the website. We've got merch, of course. And if you guys have any ideas or anything that you want us to pick up, or just do whatever Joanna says, go ahead and let us know. We'll do whatever Joanna says if
She's
that's
all
what you
finally.
think we should do. Thank you guys so much for listening.
All right, time to drink.
Bye.
This episode of the Whiskey and Wine podcast is sponsored by Portland Party Bus, Portland's original party bus company, where the ride becomes the party. PDX Party Bus pricing is all inclusive. This means all the hourly rates include all fees and mileage. No surprise charges at the end of your party, just professional staff and a party all along the way. Visit them at pdxpartybus.com and plan your next wine tasting, birthday party, or just a great weekend. pdxpartybus.com.